Welcome back, listeners, to the Khyber Pass podcast. Bringing you interviews each week with improvisers for a glimpse at a shadow of what goes in. To making a musician become interested and dedicated to improvisation. This week, Alden Ikeda, drummer, playing at the Khyber Pass in trio setting with George Cartwright on saxophones and Josh Kornowski upright bass. As always, the podcast is made possible by the Khyber Pass Cafe. I am your host, Paul Metzger. This week we present, as per usual, a short excerpt from the concert, followed by conversation with Alden Ikeda. I hope that as you listen, you can also dig.
I'm never sure what time they start exactly. About 9:30. Yeah, here 9:30. That's how I figured.
So
9:30.
I think you're doing pretty good. But you got to sit up, I assume.
Yeah.
A drummer's life is.
Yeah, a drummer's life is sort of hell.
Yeah.
You got to carry all that shit.
Yep. You got to carry it. You got to deal with it. You got to buy it.
You got to buy it. You got to protect it. You got to take care of it.
Load it in, load it out.
Load it in, load it out.
And that's on top of all the other regular shit a musician does.
Right.
You know, keep your chops up, doing your thing, work on your meth.
Right.
But it's the drums.
It's the drums, right.
So beautiful, man.
That's a different thing. And
I mean, for me, that is my favorite instrument, without a doubt. Tip top.
Really?
The heap. Oh, hell yeah.
Really?
Yep.
I gotta say, I love them too.
Right on.
You know, I don't know if that would have been my first choice, but well, it was my first choice, but that's what I latched on to.
Let's get
gravitated to.
Let's go into that zone. So, your first instrument you gravitated toward was the drums?
Percussion type things.
As a
drums.
kid?
As a young kid.
Like through hearing it?
Through hearing it.
Okay. So who are you listening to and that you hear that?
When I was a young kid, you know, I listened to, you know, I'm up there, you know, I'm from the back in the day. And, you know, I listened to Beatles, Sgt. Pepper's stuff. That's what I started with. And the Hendrix thing. You know, I love that stuff.
Yeah.
I love the Stones. You know, Brian Jones thing, I think, is brilliant stuff. And
so how was it for you listening to Hendrix and is like Mitch Mitchell kind of popping out to you?
He popped out to me, yeah. So yeah, he popped out to me, and of course he sort of led me on to pardon me, I got a frog in there. You know, he sort of led me to other people. Alvin Jones, he was coming from that four-way coordination type thing.
Yeah.
But what really knocked me out when I was probably about, I don't know, 11, 12 years old, is that I think it was like the Merv Griffin show.
Yeah.
And it was Max Roach and Abby Lincoln doing a duet. And that just this just blew my mind. I mean, it was incredible. It was just the two of them.
Damn.
And they were doing the, you know, social, struggle thing, 60s struggle thing. And it just reached out to me, you know.
I can see it, man, because I had my small chance to see Max Roach play. And pretty near here at McAllister College.
Right, I actually did heard that.
Yeah,
I did.
You went to that?
I did. I did.
Fuck me, man.
And he was a great dude.
So
wonderful
solid.
dude.
I thought, what a generous man.
He really was very generous. God, I wish I could have hung out with him more and picked his brain a little more. But he was very generous, and he showed things, you know, like. His conceptual four-way coordination thing, which he had actually learned from Charlie Parker. Charlie Parker could kick around the drums. You know, Charlie could do like a Charleston on the left foot.
Yeah.
And then what would he do? A shuffle on the left. I can't do it right now. I'd be fucking screwing it up. But he'd do a swing on the right. I think a Charleston on the hi-hat. No, a shuffle with the left hand, swing on the right, Charleston left foot, and I think 4 or something on the bass. So it was an exercise.
I hear you. Yeah.
And he picked, you know, Max sort of picked that up. From him, he said.
And I love the thing that he said about the way he thinks about his playing as language, as poetry. And punctuation.
Oh, yeah.
It really got to me, man. I loved him for that. I mean, I was always a fan of him as a player.
Yeah.
But I got to get some small feel for him as an artist, you know, when he's saying, and he did that demo on the hi-hat.
That thing,
He was all up and down on it.
That thing, and that left, that's crazy.
Okay, so he was on Merv.
He was on the, maybe it was, no, it was Mike Douglas. I'm sorry.
I think Mike of those Douglas. Two as the same
dudes
anyway, man.
They were like they're like Men in Black or whatever they are. They're aliens, but they're the same dudes.
Yeah.
So, but he was on one of those daytime shows with Abby Lincoln, and it was a duet, which is pretty out, you know, for that time.
Please.
I mean, that's out. You know, you think about that.
Yeah, that's solid.
And
at that point, you're not playing yet because you're like a kid. This is like late 60s.
Yeah. I got a hold of a snare drum.
Okay.
Somebody gave me that.
All right.
And I started on that. And then, you know, I banged around on that, screwed around on that, practiced a lot. And
so it's just you as a young kid? You're like what age about, just roughly?
12, 13.
Okay. You're just a little shit.
Just a little shithead. Sounding like shit.
And so you just kind of set up like in the basement of your house or in your room?
Right, in the basement. My, mother, she put up with it, which was really nice. And eventually my older brother got a hold of a drum kit, and he couldn't play it. He couldn't. And I sort of picked it up. Relatively.
So an older brother picked
after
up
a while,
maybe got bored with it.
Yeah, he didn't have the
and
thing.
then you kind of just slide in.
I slid in on that. Right.
So what are you doing? So you're just a early teenager, and you say you're practicing. So are you playing along with the recording?
I play along with the recordings, and about the age of 60, high school, late high school, is when I got really serious into it. There used to be a club in Minneapolis called the Rainbow Gallery.
Okay.
And they had, Braxton played there with, Barry Alshaw and Mulhall, Richard Abrams, and Dave Holland, that great band that they had for a while. Things like that. Who else played there? Lee Konitz. And I'd hang there and I'd sit in with different people.
Okay.
I'd hang out and I'd study with some of these. There was still some older guys, from the bebop era around at that time.
Yeah, I can totally see that.
That I sort of studied with,
So let me back up a little bit because I'm just so curious about how people develop what they do musically, especially an improviser. So you went through, school, through high school. Were you in band at all?
I really wasn't. I really wasn't in band. I was in it for a while.
On percussion, or were you?
Percussion, snare drum. And it just wasn't my thing. I wasn't tutored. I wasn't a very good reader. I was more of a, it just wasn't my thing. It was a little too square.
And it sounds like you were already hip to what your thing was, and you knew how to go to it.
Well, in a sense, I was.
Intuitively, maybe.
Intuitively, maybe. And I want to say one other thing that really knocked me out. And I was more like 13, 14, maybe around the Hendrick when I got into that, was a record, Sunship, by John Coltrane. Was the first jazz record I had listened to.
Okay.
And that really, I didn't understand it, but that really knocked me out. I mean, I wore that out listening to that.
So how did you get to that album? I'm just curious because
from the library, I looked at the record.
Yeah, there it is. Yeah,
the library.
Yep.
Everything is on records. You know that.
In that era, because I'm an old timer myself.
Everything is on fucking records.
You could go to the library.
Right, in the library.
That was the internet. You could get down there.
Yes.
Downtown Minneapolis Library had the grand pianos down there.
Yeah.
And albums.
Yeah, it was a different way.
I found out all kinds of shit that way.
Yeah. It was
it's different.
Way.
Yeah, because there's legwork.
Yeah, it's legwork. Now there's so much, you go on YouTube and you see like Cecil Taylor live and some mansion in France from '69, which is beautiful.
Yeah.
God, what an educational thing, because, when you're watching it, it's a different thing than listening to it, you know what I mean? That's a whole nother
When I first heard Cecil Taylor, just like his albums are just like graphic art and weird shit.
Right.
I thought the guy, I swear, was like 6'5".
Yeah.
250 with forearms.
Yeah.
Because, my God, he has the power, the stamina to just bring forever. Then I gotta look at dude.
Right. Right.
He's a little guy.
That guy had power. I always say he had power. Like, I mean, I don't compare him in any way, shape, or form, but there's some people that just have certain amounts of power, like Buddy Rich type guy, Cecil Taylor,
Elvin Jones,
Eric Gravatt, or some people around, people. There's certain people that have that energy level that is just incredible, and Cecil was one of those.
And it comes
and went on and on.
The ability
Jimmy Lyons and
to
just,
kill for so long, and then
shit.
That's okay.
Oh man,
no, that's fine. Nothing really breaks.
Fuck, I'm sorry, man.
Good.
I was getting a little carried away there about that.
No, we all get carried away. Check.
Is it okay?
Yeah, it's fine.
Okay, I'm sorry about that.
No. Apology rejected.
This
is all fine.
All right. So.
Because we're getting a little jacked up about it.
Yeah. I mean, that music will get you jacked up.
Yeah.
And it was powerful, and I saw Cecil 3 times. I saw him. The first time I saw him was the first time I went to New York in my early 20s. And I got into town. I've never been to New York. It was probably 2 a.m. And I went in the Blue Note, of all places. Okay. I don't think he ever played there after that. Because that was, And it was Frank Wright, Jimmy Lyons. I forgot who the drummer was. And William Parker.
Oh, okay.
And 2 drummers, and Frank Wright and Jimmy. So that was that was an eye opener.
Dang.
That was an eye opener, man.
So what are you doing, man? So you're in your early 20s. What are you doing going to New York? Were you?
I was going to move there for a while. I was planning on moving there.
Was this part of musical development?
Yeah, yeah.
All right. So this is around. This is going to be mid-70s, early 70s?
It would be more, let me see, 20, more like about 80, 81.
80, 81. 88, okay.
80, 80s.
And that's going to be sort of early on, kind of early inklings of like the downtown scene.
Right.
Was that happening at all
that
yet?
Wasn't really. I don't know if I would go to a club called the Neither Nor, and that was more like Jamil Moondock and Dennis Charles and who else? Billy Bang, William Parker, Frank Wall, that crew. So, and that was a hell zone then, back in Alphabet City that was a hell zone back then. I don't even know what it's like now. I haven't been there. It's probably Apple stores there now. Because that was like a war zone. That probably looked like East Berlin after the war or something.
I hear you.
know?
I totally hear
I mean,
you.
it was
New York
wild.
is weird because you can know about a neighborhood,
Right.
and then 10 years later, someone's going, "Oh, I'm going to this neighborhood." You go like,
Right.
"Do not fucking go there, dude."
Right.
But
right.
then it's all been gentrified and
right.
shifted,
Right.
and it's it's a weird town.
It's a
that
weird
way.
town. I haven't been there in a while. I have to go back. You know, I'm sort of out of that loop.
So you plan to what? What were you doing, man? You move out there for
You
real,
know,
or are you just?
I was
kinda
going to move.
feeling
You
it
know,
out?
I was feeling it out, but I had kids here. I had a couple of kids. I had a son. That was a little later, like my 23 or something. And I was all set up to go there, but you know, I had a family son, and it was hard for me I couldn't get him out there, and
I hear you.
we were divorced, and you know, that was the choice I made. But you know, I still kept my ears open, and
Yeah, I completely dig.
that's what you
But
can
you
do.
got out that way and you checked.
I did get to check them out. I also went to Chicago. I would go to Chicago quite a bit and hang out down there.
Okay, so you hang in Chicago a bit, and then, but you're mostly located out of the Twin Cities,
Right.
would you say?
Right. Yeah.
So are you beginning to play in town here around with
yeah,
cats?
yeah. I would play, you know, more, let's see, commercial jazz type thing, you know, bebop or whatever. And I tried to play with more like in the community type places, like, well, what could I say, like, over on Concordia, there used to be these halls where people come in there during happy hours, and it would be packed with people at 4 in the afternoon.
Wow, okay.
You know,
I don't know that.
and there were some hip players, you know,
Yeah.
and they took me in and treated me really good, and I had a chance to do that, and I'm really happy I could do that.
So that was more out. You're saying maybe you found scenes where people were getting outside more than maybe being a straight bop band, or
Well, this was more like bop maybe stuff, a little more R&B bop type, Turrentine type stuff.
Oh, okay.
That type thing. I'm trying to think of when I started to get more into the out thing. Probably with some different younger guys that played. A fellow named Bill Lang, a tenor player. People more my age. And of course, I'd listen to the people around here, Milo, you know, the different practitioners around here.
Okay. Yeah.
And so I always heard that, but then somehow I just developed into that. I just think it's all, to me, it's just sort of one thing, you know. It's just different time, you know.
Yeah, I
It's
can
just,
dig.
I think there's 2 or 3 different times, and in a sense they're related. You know, I don't think there's much difference.
But was there, like, so you're in your 20s, you're playing around town a bit, and you're checking local shows, going out to Chicago, going to New York for a bit, and starting a family or having a family, your kid and shit, and then what happens, man? You're still in that thing up through.
Later on, I got involved in this thing called Imp-Org with Michelle Kinney and some other people, John Devine, and they'd bring in people like Don Cherry and Butch Morris and Julius Hemphill.
And here we are, abruptly. The recording device stopped on its own accord, deciding where conversation record would be ended. Alden Ikeda, percussionist. You heard him in trio with George Cartwright, saxophone, and Josh Kornowski, upright. I am your host, Paul Metzger, and I'm looking forward to the next episode. What that holds at this time is unknowable. Thank you for listening. Until next time.